Hey, we back with another 24-hour traits. Coming right back into this thing, y'all. So, today, um, we have news, PMIs at 6:45. Is the only news we have today. IMF meetings all day, actually, too. But, yeah. Um, we had we had a crazy week. We had a really crazy week. Um, this last day, we had price dump like a lot. Um, almost 1,000 points in like the last day or so. Um, Pretty much just making up for this move that we started at the beginning of this week. We moved all the way up and then we right back down. So um, yeah, I think the news had a lot to do with that. But now we're coming down into these zones now. We broke below this daily area here. I have here marked off like another zone as like daily support area. Right now, biggest thing is we're building up this style support here, so we could see some retracement going on potentially um, on these zones here. So biggest thing, I think we could see some retracement into one of these hourly zones here, and then get a push continuing down. Basically, just retesting this zone that we broke out of, that we never came back to retest. So we broke out of, this basically the daily area that we were on, and we never came back down to touch on that zone. So that's what we're doing right now. You can see here I've it marked up a little bit more detail on the hourly. So this is like the peak basically of where we missed that retest. We just kind of busted out of it on an hourly candle and then never came back. So honestly, the way that I see this going, so we have like a couple different zones that we can continue up to, and then potentially get some continuation downwards um, towards that area. You could say like, oh well, why don't you just take a buy or something like that. Honestly, I'm not. Woo, bless me. Goodness gracious. Um, I wouldn't really see buys unless we could break above like 35,000, because um, we're moving pretty bearish right now. So unless we start to break above like these zones here, then yeah, definitely we have a lot of clear traffic for continuation up. 166 points just on the hourly, and if we're looking at the overall move hourly, speaking hourly, it's like 500 points. So definitely possibility, but we're pretty far away from that zone right now. I don't think we're going to get that in this session. We're about 200 points away just from that top. So yeah, we did move like 600 points in the last 800, excuse me, like the last day. So let me see. Anyways, but for now, the biggest thing is not interested in buys. I just want to look at taking some sells. So if we can get rejections up around these areas here, that's the biggest thing that I want to be looking for. Are those rejections? We could have some continuation down from here, but if for some reason we just don't get a retest and then we just start breaking. Honestly, I could taking some buys from this zone here, or potentially a little lower on that next zone. It's about 150 points away. Would be the next area of interest for me. A lot of clear traffic there. So I guess biggest thing is we just got to be patient to wait and see what price is going to do. If we do get those retests pre-market, then then definitely we're taking some sells. But otherwise, I don't really want to. I don't want to be in them buys, especially when we're moving so bearish. It doesn't really make any sense for me to say like, oh, okay, we're gonna look at taking some buying opportunities. So, like I said, unless we clear like all the way up here, or if price just never retest, breaks through this, doesn't come up and retest, then comes all the way down here, that would be like the only way that I would see price shooting, back up at least to retest this zone right here, which is 100 points away. But again, we will see kind of what happens with all of that once the market starts developing. So one more thing I wanted to point out is that it is Friday, and we're chilling below weekly resistance as well. So you can see here for our weekly zone would be right up here. This green line here, and that's chilling right on the top of the hourly that we're looking at. If it breaks above that zone, then we'd be looking at buys, right? It makes total sense why that's the case, because that is literally the resistance area. The last 3 weeks we've been closing out below that. Still having issues right now this week, and actually we're even playing below the open of last week currently. So I mean, the thing is that, like, looking at it from this perspective, we had this huge push up, and price tried to continue to push up, but we just created a huge wick. So I think this might have some bearish reaction for next week as well. To be honest, it's not. This is just like looking at a way higher time frame perspective, but we're so close to that resistance in regards to like where we currently are in the market, about 200 points away. That's totally doable to get to in just a small amount of time. So like, if to get some continuation down to like the next daily would be nothing. We've seen we can do that in a day. But that's just kind of what I'm looking at. It's just like feeding into my sell bias a little bit stronger, because like we could say like, oh yeah, we'll get some continuations down and bounces off that area, but realistically, like, yeah, we could, but we're probably just going to end up playing around in a range on Friday until next week comes around, to give us some more clear answers of where we're going to be headed in the market. But as of like right now, we can see here that there's our like actual hourly that we're playing around on, right? We broke below that and created some new lows of our actual support of where the zone is that we're in right now. But the thing is that we still are trying to break that. So that being said, it just makes sense. We broke through the 50 EMA, so we're just waiting on some retests to get some continuation down. I don't think that this full move is going to get corrected. Like, at most, this session probably, we'd see it come up to 35,000 and then reject off of that. So like I said, unless we start getting some closes and confirmations that we're gonna stick above this area, then we can see that clear traffic get made up, which would be cool, because overall in the market would be good, for people's investments to go up and all this stuff like that. But as of right now, we're just continuing bearish. So it's been a pretty weak, I would say it's been a pretty weak first quarter of this year, to be honest. We've really been struggling the last few months to make any headway into what we're gonna do here, because I mean, this is January, right? 2022. We had bearish February's bearish. We tried to make up here in March, but couldn't even break above the open of February. And now here we are in April with 1 week left to go and not a lot of hope for where the market can head. So overall, we're starting to get like, it's starting to get kind of sketchy for people to make anything. So just looking at the opens from the past, here's January, right? February, March. This was like back in COVID, and then the rest of the months, it looks like, we just kind of had a run off. April was the first like bullish month, and then so on and so forth. And then if we come up here to where where's 2021? January, bearish, and then we just kept running, right? If we go back to the previous Januaries, February, March, bearish, and then it take a couple months to make up for that. 2019, yeah. Honestly, we're behaving pretty irregular for how the months usually move. January, and then we usually go a little bullish, go on our little run. January, February, March, and then we go on our run. Yeah. So the only year that we had anything like really bad like that was in during COVID. So I guess this isn't like unusual, but yeah. Overall, I'm just looking at like the overall market conditions. Really is all I'm trying to see. But that's just looking at it overall. Like I said, looking at it from a weekly perspective, though, still, even though we're like in a bullish style of candle, it's like doesn't really make sense to take buys. Like, this is not really a strong finishing point where we're at right now. Like, I really just can't see buys happening right now unless we break that zone. So even if we come down here and start to play around, whatever, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I just want to stick on to sells today. It just is what it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think so. So we'll see. Okay, so check out how we're setting up for this hourly here. Moving pretty bearish. Getting pretty close to being able to break here off that low. Okay, so we finally got price coming down around this zone to potentially break out, or I guess it finally just went a little bit lower. So we're just gonna wait a little bit longer to see kind of how price decides to play out in this area here. Looks like we're just getting some more wicks. It is possible that we can see some continuation up still, maybe to reject these areas a little bit higher before we actually break all the way through. I did draw up another hourly zone here, just kind of scaling into this entry for how we had formed. So this was our 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock candle here. One of the things I started to notice, so these are actually like the wicks on that hourly there, wick and wick. So we could have had like at 5:30, I guess we could have had like some sort of entry here, and it would have been in confluence with this trend line. But I like to see like at least a couple different taps off the same zone before I consider it like an area that we can use as like structure for lower time frames. I mean, this is a little bit different because this is actually the low of like where we're at. But for me to take like rejections off of, then there needs to be like at least like 2 other taps on the area. So this is like a pretty strong area of resistance here. And then we also have this hourly level here. So I mean, we have a lot of different resistance areas that we can potentially take entries off of. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Might get like a little bit retracement when the market opens at so we had news at 6:45, so that could definitely affect like kind of how price is developing. we got a couple more minutes here to just be patient. Should wait until like 6:15, just to kind of let price play it out, because the last thing I want to do is get faked out in this area because I'm being impatient. So with these break and retests, they're real I gotta be like particular with how I look at taking entries on these areas. So we'll see. Okay, so I just wanted to get the get this on here so we could take a look at potentially looking at some entries here. So price forms. Not super confident in that. Just breaking the trend, right? Okay, some wick. Yeah, so honestly, the biggest thing is like, yeah, I could have taken entry like right here on like this false break, but what I really want to see is like some better retests. Is the biggest thing that I want to see here. Especially we're starting to get like some wick in this area. We're about at 619 right now, so it's potential for us to come up and grab some we have the potential to come up and grab some retest still. Feel that. Oops. Yeah, so you can see where I'm coming from. I got really close to taking that that entry once we had that wick right there, or I mean the false break. But we'll see what price decides to do in this area. Looks like it wants to just keep running. I think if we close this right here, then I think we probably get some more continuation down. 621. And I don't like that close. You see here with a bearish candle, no wick at the top, a bunch of wicks down here. So that tells me that we want to see price maybe push up just a little more, maybe do like a little bit more retesting. We'll see how that forms. Really struggling here on this this zone to push up any higher. Just really trying not to be like super impulsive. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely sell season though. That's for sure. That is for surely sure. Let's see what these goobers are doing. Close your not short. Yeah, some movement downwards here. Just about when though is like the biggest thing. When are we gonna have it's a lot easier to say like I'm not gonna take like certain trades when you're back testing, because you can kind of be like, oh, if I miss it, whatever, I got like another back test. But when you're in like the live markets, it's like it's just different, because you're like, oh shoot, if I don't take this right now, I'm gonna miss this and have to wait until tomorrow for my next trades. And you're just like, I want it right now. It's like, come on, please, let me just have a trade right now type thing. And so yeah, it just gets to be a lot. Gets to be a lot, but we'll see how price decides to close. Honestly, if we can close this like doji-ish, and then get a bearish candle closing back below the hourly, then that would be solid for some entries. Got like 5 minutes left until this market open here. Cool. And boom. Okay. Setting up for potential bearish variation here. Really want to see just a bearish candle closing below the hourly, and we'd be Gucci for entries here. Otherwise, it's possible that we might just get price shooting up at market open, because we are playing around a zone here that's a little far away from the areas we wanted to retest. Technically, we did get our retest around like 5:30, so we might not get exactly. I know our original zone was all the way up here for retest, which we could still get. but with the trend drawn up and just the way price is moving, I don't know if we'll get those retests all the way up there, but it's still possible. You can see here we have a couple different zones drawn up for where we could go. Yeah, I took that. Oh no. This is not good. So we took our entry at 8-0. So 8-0 would have been right here. And our stop loss is pretty short here at 30 points. Getting some like bullish action. Not real comfortable with that, especially right after we just jumped on the trade, because we had price shoot down like right before, right, which is exactly kind of what we were looking for to take our entries. But now I don't like this. I don't like what's happening here. Three, 4, 5, 8 zeros take profit. So we got in at 3, 4, 6, 8, 0. 4, 7, 10 is the stop loss. Take profit. So yeah, we're in an entry now. We might still get like some more upside potential, but we'll just have to see how price is gonna play out here. Very high probability that we could potentially get stopped out here. I'm not gonna lie. Our 30 points is hanging out right at the next zone here for where we took our entries at. But overall, I would say that we stuck to our plan, waited, price came back up on this zone here. We had some sort of variation. This is what we were looking for here, right? So now we just gotta wait for a price to play out and see exactly what the market is going to do for us here. It is 6:29 right now, so on this 6:30, it's crucial, very, very crucial here for what could happen. I don't like this. Always feels uncomfortable to be in these some of these trades that you're in. It's really uncomfortable. Yes. Yeah, do that. Nope, just keep moving down. Yep. Nope. Yep. Keep going. Drop. Stop losses are going to break even now. We could see that full 100 dump. Come on, just a little more, and bang. Woo! There it goes. I don't know what to say about that one, Chief. All in the same candle, we take it full 100 points, and yeah, feels good. Feels great, really. So yeah, we went ahead and I actually had to manually close that out. So we took a little under 4% for the trade, but that's just because we actually hit the 100, but for whatever reason, like I'm assuming because of spread, I didn't get filled in for the order. So, but we took our 100 here. We already knew what we had going on. I'm glad I closed out that trade actually, just because that was just a super quick scalp. But overall, good stuff. Good. Super happy with how that played out. And we're now up on the account some percent. Once we have this in here, what would we take? 3.76%. Oops. So yeah, now we're up about 2.19% on the account, which is good. We did all right. We did decent. I would say overall, this wasn't a bad trade idea. We kind of had the game plan from the get-go. A lot of confluence here, chilling below weekly, all that stuff. So it made sense. All of our analysis kind of made sense, lined up with what we needed to get done, right? So overall, I'm glad we stayed patient. There was a lot of times in this trade today where I felt like I really wanted to take an entry, and just having that discipline, discipline to know. Hold on real quick. But having that discipline to be able to say that we're not gonna enter on certain trades, whatever the case is, I think made all the difference. Because if we look back at this chart, the only other place I was looking at taking entries were right over here. Even when we kept breaking below, I kept thinking like, oh man, I really want to take an entry, but we just waited for a retest like we needed to. We could have missed the trade, but I think it was better for us, because even if we would have taken it here, we would have actually ended up getting stopped out at break even for a trade like this. So it made more sense to wait, and we ended up taking our full 100 points, just under the 100 points that we end up taking here, because I think we got filled in, it looks like 8-6. So hold on, 8-6. Yeah, so we were like 6 points away from what we were actually aiming for when we closed it. But that's because we tapped it and then we bounced back up, and I was like, okay, this is not okay. So I just closed out of the trade, because I was like, that's weird, I didn't get filled in. But again, just spread and stuff like that, like they fill you in a lot of times with your stop losses or your take profit and stop losses. They fill you in like after prices pass that certain area. So with something like this, I just closed it myself, because I was like, I'm not trying to take a loss after we're just up 100 points. Doesn't make any sense at all for me. So sacrifice the couple 0.2%, sacrifice it for the overall. But overall, I say like pretty good day, really good analysis. We're patient, all the things that we needed to be in order to succeed. So really good stuff. We waited for our variation, which was like right in. This is exactly what I wanted to see, actually. So we got a little bit of drawdown, which is fine because we got all our take profit, but this is what I was waiting for right here. This candle close above a doji or ish, some sort of doji candle variation, maybe like whatever you call, like the hammer or doji, and then a bearish candle closing. This actually, I was late to this trade because it closed bearish like right at the last second below the hourly, which is what we want to see. So of course I took that trade, and yeah, then we went off to the races shortly after. So pretty good stuff here. Looks like we're still having some continuation down. So overall, really happy with how the day went. There's been another 24-hour trades. Hopefully y'all learned something. Hopefully y'all took some profits today too. Have a good one. Make it amazing day. Deuces.